Let's start across the ocean. The word pizza shows up in written records as early as 997 AD in Gaeta, Italy. But the pizza we recognize, flatbread with toppings, baked quickly in a hot oven, that really takes shape in Naples during the 1700s. And here's the key. Naples back then was a crowded, filthy, incredible mess. We're talking one of the most densely populated cities in Europe. People lived in tiny one-room homes called bassi. No kitchens, no ovens. So what do you do when you're hungry and you can't cook? You buy street food. That's where the pizzaiolo, the pizza maker, comes in. These guys set up stalls with wood-fired ovens, usually right on the street. They'd stretch dough, slap on some toppings, often just garlic, lard, salt, maybe some cheap cheese or anchovies, and sell slices to working-class Neapolitans. This wasn't fancy food. This was fuel. The word pizza itself might come from the Greek pitta or the Lombardic bizzo meaning bite. Either way, it was cheap, hot, and filling. The birth of the Margherita. Fact versus legend. Now, every pizza history has to talk about the Margherita. Here's the legend. In 1889, King Umberto I and Queen Margherita of Savoy are touring their newly unified kingdom. They get tired of fancy French food. Someone suggests they try this local peasant flatbread. The queen is intrigued. She summons the most famous pizzaiolo in Naples, a guy named Raffaele Esposito from a shop called Pizzeria Brandy. Esposito makes 3 pizzas, one with garlic and oil, one with anchovies, and one with tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil, red, white, and green, just like the Italian flag. The queen goes nuts for the third one. Esposito names it Pizza Margherita in her honor. End of story. Everyone claps. Okay, great story. But historians will tell you, it's probably not entirely true. The colors of the Italian flag weren't really a national symbol yet, and there's no solid contemporary evidence that visit happened exactly like that. What is true? Pizzeria Brandy still exists. They still serve a margherita. And by 1900, that combination, tomato, mozzarella, basil, had become the gold standard for Neapolitan pizza. So even if the queen didn't actually invent it, she definitely made it famous. The Great Immigration, pizza crosses the Atlantic. So pizza is thriving in Naples. But here's the catch. For almost 100 years, nobody outside of southern Italy has any idea what it is. Romans thought pizza was trashy. Northern Italians looked down on it. And in America? Forget about it. That changes between 1880 and 1920. That's when 4 million Italians immigrate to the United States. Most are from the Mezzogiorno, the impoverished southern regions, Sicily, Calabria, Campania, and yes, Naples. They're escaping poverty, disease, and a newly unified Italy that doesn't seem to care about them. They arrive at Ellis Island by the boatload, and they bring their food with them. The father of American pizza. Every story needs a founding father. For American pizza, that's Gennaro Lombardi. He was a Neapolitan immigrant who opened a grocery store at 53 1/2 Spring Street in Manhattan's Little Italy. That address, 53 1/2, is important. It's a tiny storefront. And in 1905, Lombardi gets the first ever license to sell pizza in the United States. That's our official birth date, 1905. But honestly, he was probably selling pizza out of that store before the license. Immigrants didn't wait for paperwork. Lombardi's pizza wasn't sliced. It was a whole pie. You'd walk in, point at the size you wanted, and he'd bake it in a coal-fired oven, because gas ovens weren't common yet. Toppings were basic: tomatoes, mozzarella, maybe some anchovies or mushrooms. And here's the kicker. He wrapped the pizzas in paper and tied them with string. People carried them home like packages. Lombardi's original location closed in 1984. But in 1994, his grandson reopened Lombardi's a block away at 32 Spring Street. You can still eat there today. Order the Margherita. It's as close as you'll get to time travel. The Great Depression, pizza finds a role. Okay, fast forward to the 1930s. The Great Depression. Times are brutal. But pizza, cheap, filling, made from humble ingredients, actually starts to spread beyond Italian neighborhoods. Why? Because non-Italians are desperate for affordable food. And pizza delivered. A whole pie might cost a nickel or a dime. Enough to feed a family. Italian bakeries in New York and Chicago start selling tomato pies to anyone walking in off the street. Meanwhile, a guy named Titano, who actually worked at Lombardi's, opens his own place, Titano's, in Coney Island in 1924. Another Lombardi employee, John Sasso, opens John's on Bleecker Street in 1929. Both are still legendary. Both still use coal-fired ovens. And both prove that pizza isn't a fad. It's a business. Chicago, the other birthplace. Now, most people think New York is the ONL. World War II, the pizza breakthrough. If pizza had a rocket ship moment, it was World War II. Millions of American soldiers, sailors, and airmen are stationed in or pass through Italy. They land in Sicily. They fight up the boot. They occupy Naples, Rome, Florence. And what do they eat? Whatever's local. That includes pizza. Hot, fresh, wood-fired pizza from street vendors. For most of these guys, kids from Iowa, Texas, Oregon, it's their first time ever tasting pizza. And they love it. They write home about it. They dream about it. Then the war ends. The GIs come back. And suddenly there's a demand for pizza that wasn't there before. Veterans want to taste that memory again. Their families want to see what the fuss is about. That's when pizza jumps the fence from Little Italy into mainstream America. The 1940s are the bridge decade. By 1950, pizza is no longer that weird Italian thing. It's that delicious Italian thing. The Golden Age, 1945 to 1970. The first pizza chains, Shakey's and Pizza Hut. Here's where the story gets American in the best and worst ways. Because the 1950s are the decade of the chain restaurant. McDonald's is growing. Burger King is growing. And pizza, which used to be made one pie at a time by an Italian guy in an apron, is about to be systematized, franchised, and corporatized. First major chain, Shakey's Pizza Parlor. Founded in 1954 in Sacramento, California by Sherwood, Shakey, Johnson, and Ed Plummer. Johnson had a palsy that made him shake, hence the nickname. Shakey's was designed to feel like a 1890s honky-tonk. Ragtime piano, bunch of bananas, yellow shirts, and pizza served by the pie. They claim to be the first franchise pizza chain in the U.S. They might be right. At their peak in the 1970s, they had over 500 locations. Today, Shakey's is mostly gone from the mainland, but huge in the Philippines. Go figure. But the real monster arrives in 1958. Wichita, Kansas. Two brothers, Dan and Frank Carney, are college students. Domino's, delivery changes everything. But Pizza Hut had a weakness. Most of their business was eat-in. Families sitting down, red checkered tablecloth, a pitcher of soda. Then along comes Tom Monahan. In 1960, Monahan and his brother buy a tiny pizza shop called Dominic's in Ypsilanti, Michigan. His brother gets bored. Monahan buys him out for a Volkswagen Beetle. He renames it Domino's. And he has a vision, delivery. See, Monahan realized something obvious in retrospect. Pizza is the perfect delivery food. It stays hot in a cardboard box. It doesn't need plates or utensils. One person can carry a dozen pies. So Domino's ditches the dining room entirely. No tables, no chairs, just a phone bank, a hot oven, and a fleet of cars. And the slogan that changed everything. You get fresh, hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. Now, that promise created chaos. Domino's drivers drove like maniacs. Accidents happened. Lawsuits followed. But customers loved the speed. By the 1980s, Domino's was the largest pizza delivery company in the world. And they forced every other chain to follow. Little Caesars, Pizza Pizza. One more chain from this era, Little Caesars. 1959, Garden City, Michigan. Mike and Marion Ilitch opened the first store with a simple gimmick. 2 pizzas for the price of 1. Pizza Pizza became the slogan. Mike Ilitch would later go on to own the Detroit Tigers and the Detroit Red Wings. But pizza was the start. Little Caesars grew slowly at first, then exploded in the 1980s with the rise of carryout. Their hot and ready pizzas, always available, no waiting, turned them into a billion-dollar brand. American pizza styles. New York style. Okay, let's start with the king. New York style. Big, thin hand-tossed crust. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. You fold it, you walk down the street, grease drips on your sneakers. It's a lifestyle. Just sauce, moz, and a sprinkle of oregano. One slice is a meal if you believe in yourself. Chicago deep dish. Alright, hot take time. Some people say this isn't even pizza, it's a casserole. And you know what? They're not totally wrong. But it's delicious. Buttery crust goes up the sides of a steel pan. Then cheese, then toppings, then chunky tomato sauce on top. You eat this with a knife and fork. Don't even try to fold it. Your hands will hate you. Detroit style. This one's having a major moment. Square pan. Thick, airy crust that gets crispy and caramelized on the edges from cheese touching the pan. Sauce on top in racing stripes. Brick cheese if you can find it. It's like the cool, loud cousin of Sicilian pizza. And honestly, it might be the best pizza in America right now. New Haven style. This is the underground legend. Charred, coal-fired, super thin. It's got this black, blistered crust that tastes slightly bitter and smoky. They call it a pizza, a beets. Famous for white clam pizza, which sounds weird but trust me, it's insane. Don't ask for extra cheese, or the old-school Italian spots will yell at you. St. Louis style. Okay, this one's wild. Paper-thin cracker crust. No yeast. And the cheese? Provel. It's a processed blend of cheddar, Swiss, and provolone that gets gooey like melted plastic, but in a good way. Cut into squares, not wedges. Weird? Yes. Delicious? Kind of. Iconic? Absolutely. California style. Think. Gourmet, experimental, don't tell Italy we did this toppings. Barbecue chicken pizza. Pear and gorgonzola. Avocado afterbake. Crust is thin, but not floppy. It's the pizza that says, I do yoga and I'm not sorry about it. Invented by Wolfgang Puck in the 80s. Love it or hate it, it changed the Part 2. European pizza types. Now let's fly across the pond. And no, we're not just talking about Italy. Italy, Neapolitan. The OG. The granddaddy. Soft, puffy crust with leopard-spotted char cooked in a wood-fired oven for like 60 seconds. Toppings are simple. San Marzano tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, basil, olive oil. You eat it with a knife and fork because the middle is a soupy, delicious mess. UNESCO heritage status. No pineapple. Don't even ask. Italy, Roman style. Two versions here. First, pizza al taglio, baked in big rectangular trays, sold by weight. You point, they cut, you pay. Crunchy, airy, perfect for lunch. Second, pizza tonda, super thin and cracker crispy. Almost like a saltine but good. Toppings go edge to edge. Italy, Sicilian, Sfincian. Thick, spongy, fluffy. Topped with tomato sauce, onions, anchovies, breadcrumbs, and sharp cheese. Not the same as Detroit style, but you can see the family resemblance. It's more rustic, less cheesy. Big lunch energy. France, pissaladière. Hold up, is this pizza? French people say yes. It's a bread dough base, but no tomato sauce. Instead, caramelized onions, anchovies, black olives, and sometimes garlic. No cheese. Sounds weird? It's salty, sweet, and incredible. Often sold as street food and nice. Germany, Flammkuchen, tart flambe. German pizza's skinny cousin. Paper-thin dough, topped with creme fraiche, onions, and bacon bits. No red sauce. No mozzarella. Cooked blazing hot, so the edges get crispy and slightly burned. Perfect with a cold beer. Think of it as a white pizza that went on vacation to Alsace. Sweden, pizza with banana and curry. I'm not joking. This is a real thing. A classic Swedish pizza is ham, banana slices, curry powder, and peanuts on a tomato and cheese base. Sometimes pineapple too. It's sweet, savory, weirdly tropical. Most Italians would call a hit on you for this. But Swedes love it. And honestly, don't knock it till you try it. Turkey, lahmacun. Often called Turkish pizza. Super thin, crispy flatbread topped with spiced minced meat, lamb or beef, onions, tomatoes, and parsley. No cheese. You squeeze lemon on it, roll it up like a taco, and eat it walking down the street. Crunchy, spicy, and dirt cheap. One of the best street foods on the planet. Spain, coca de recapped. This one's ancient. A rectangular or oval flatbread topped with roasted veggies like peppers, eggplant, onions, sometimes tuna, or anchovies. Olive oil, salt, maybe a little garlic. It's not cheesy or saucy. It's like pizza's Mediterranean grandma, who doesn't care about trends. UK, doner kebab pizza. Listen, Britain doesn't get a lot of love for food. But this is chaos in the best way. Tomato and cheese base. Then doner kebab meat, onions, peppers, and after baking, drenched in garlic sauce and chili sauce. Some places even add fries on top. Is it authentic Italian? No. Is it perfect at 2 a.m. after 5 pints? Absolutely.